I had the confidence in myself, but I knew that I was still scared to move forward.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was moving forward, but if I wanted to move in that exponential rate that I felt like I was ready for, I couldn't do it on my own.
So you knew that was that conscious or unconscious?
I think a little of both.
Okay.
I think unconsciously I felt the momentum building, and I love the three stages now, because to me, I think that fits so well. I was learning everything and now I was starting to apply it, but I don't know if you ever become an expert at this, but I hadn't like become where it felt like it was who I was. Like I hadn't stepped into that part of it. And so I still was looking at you as, hey, I want this and I want to step into my personal power. I want to own who I am and what I'm doing in this world. And I'm on the path, but I have not, and I don't
Do you
know.
use the language in your own mind, personal power? You just used it out loud. Is that a word you think in your head?
Yes.
Okay, that's helpful. Okay. So there was still a calling forward. There was like, I know I want more. I see what's possible for me. I don't have that yet. There's something, still attractive about doing the work. And was there any thought in your head, I want to master this?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it goes twofold. And I'm going to go back to the percentages that we talked about. It was twofold in the way that I wanted to master the concepts. And also, I felt such a strong community. That first year, COVID hit, and I had decided, you know what, we weren't going to be in person. So I called every single person and set up a time to meet with them to make the connection, because that was an important piece for me.
Yeah.
And so even moving into that second year, I wanted to continue that connection, because although my friends that I have here are here, I was leveling up in the way I was thinking about my business. Well, everywhere. But I found I wasn't able to have some of those same conversations with those people and feel inspired to continue to move forward or continue to level up or grow, because of the whole thought of, the fear and keeping people where they're at.
Yeah.
And so that community piece was still really important to me,
Mm-hmm.
because I had never been in a room full of women where I felt no judgment, and I'm responsible for my own feelings, but that safety was there, and people literally, if they gave me some really tough feedback, I knew what the come from was. I knew what their intention was, and that they were approaching it with love. And so that piece of it was a really big piece for me year 2, and the relationship piece of it, but then also wanting mastery, I knew that in order to do what I'm doing today and going forward, I had to master the concepts that you talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Okay. So now let's talk about year 3. So same question for you that I asked Erin about the program coaching. Stepping into that, did that shift anything for you, or was it sort of like Erin, like, she was
No.
like, yeah, your belief is great. But
yeah, it shifted things in me in the relationship, that kind of like what Erin said, where I know without a doubt that you always have more belief in me and you see things bigger for me than what I see a lot of times for myself. And so for that, it was a confidence boost, because I thought, you know what? And anyone that watches anything that you do can, like, for me, I can tell upfront when you do something, you have passion about it, you know what you want, you have clarity. And so to have someone say to me, hey, this is my business and I've built this, and I trust you enough and know that you know this stuff well enough to go out and help other people do it, that was a huge confidence boost. And Amira, I'd say the biggest piece of that confidence was it helped me realize I had this mindset that I could only work with people in the struggle. Now we're all in struggle, right? But like in the struggle, and that who are these like multi-million-dollar business women like, who am I to coach them? Right. Like I had that mindset. And so then doing the coaching, it was this awareness of like, oh, there's still women. There's still, like it doesn't matter. It matters, but it doesn't matter. Right. And it did help me up level then to what I do in my business.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. So aside from stepping into the program coaching in year 3, what was attractive about staying in the program in year 3? What was the, like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why stay? Right? Like, tell me your thought process on that.
Yeah, I really felt, particularly at the beginning of 2022, like the end of 21 and 22. So when I stepped into 2022, I was still practicing. I jumped out of an airplane in 2021. I was facing my fears, and I continued to face my fears. And I'm a firm believer, Amira, and I'm going to do a little sales job here for you too, that spirit of wealth is the core piece of it. But where I saw really exponential growth was then when I saw growth, like even in my financials. I left my job at the end of May, started full-time in my business. And from June to the end of May, 2022, I went from 30 grand to 165. And now I'm at 200 in September and on course, so like the financial pieces of it happen. But what I found was that doing Spirit of Wealth with a VIP day, with immersion, really then helped me. And it just depends on how quickly people want to move, right? Like that was a huge leap for me. Yeah. And so I found I was able to step more into my personal power. I had a much stronger belief, and I do today, a much stronger belief in who I am, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how then I can use the concepts and the science of getting rich and the laws and as a man thinketh and all of these things to then go in. And so now I feel like in year 3, I have clarity. I've stepped into and continue to step into my personal power. And when Erin says self-coaching, for me, it's not about self-coaching. It is in the way that I've evolved and you've provided tools. But I had to be open to receiving those tools and understand how to use them and how to apply them in my own life. And so now I feel like I have tools that I can go to my toolbox. I have other women like Erin that I can call, and we tease that we have the bat phone, right? Like, okay, talk me off the ledge for a minute, or I know I'm in growth. I don't want to go into this pattern and I feel it happening, right? And so for me, that's part of the self-coaching. And I wouldn't have had those relationships had Spirit of Wealth not happened. And for me, self-coaching too is knowing that I need help and asking for it. Year 1, I sat back and didn't ask questions. When somebody new comes on and I'm talking to them, Amira, I say to them, come on a call and ask a question, even if you're not sure what you want to ask.
When you're ready for freedom, you find the courage to scale. And you better get ready for our next, the 7 Laws to 7 Figures Summit, which is going to be off the charts. Join me this November for an electrifying 3-day online event where female entrepreneurs from all over the world gather together to learn how to scale their business and unlock the freedom that they desire. And a special offer for all podcast fans. Get your seat today using the link theunstoppablewoman.com/breakthrough and save 80% off of your ticket purchase. Bye for now and see you there.